Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Hare Bol. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Good morning, everybody. For everyone, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Cheers, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna.
I'm the first one.
Hare Krishna. Welcome to the ecstatic level of the world. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. The laughing saint is here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. All right. Isn't Krishna's name and Radha's name wonderful? Tell me, is there anything more wonderful than those names? Is there any greater happiness? Nah. No way. All right. So let's see here. How about keeping with the mood? This one. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. 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 Radha. Ooh, Radhe Radhe Govinda. Radhe Radhe Govinda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Radhe Radhe Govinda. Jesus. Srila Prabhupada. Jesus, Srila Prabhupada. Jesus, Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. Oops, what happened? Sorry. We'll circle back to that one. Let's try this one. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Too fast. We'll circle back to that one. Old standard here. Hare Krishna.
And I'm going to
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Looking for something, looking for Krishna, looking for Radha. Where are you guys? Here you are. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda, Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Govinda, 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 Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Radha, Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, oh, Hare Krishna. Oh, Krishna. Oh, Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. What happened there? There we go. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Oh, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hari Rama, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Hey, the bread of life, man. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, the bread and butter. Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Oh. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna, oh, Shri Krishna, oh, Hare Krishna, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Gauranga Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Gauranga Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, oh my Lord Krishna. Oh my Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Krishna. Where is this all going? You're getting lost. It's like the true meaning of getting lost and found at the same time. Strange feeling, lost and being lost and found. Lost in ecstasy and found in the truth. I love it, man. Oh, Krishna, man. Are you a fun guy and gal, man? You and Radha and Krishna, boy, are you a lot of fun, man. Man, you haven't had a good time till you've danced with those two, man. I forgot about drinking my coffee. My goodness, it's probably cold by now. True renunciation. I found something better. Cold coffee. Oh my God, man. I gotta warm this up here, man. What is going on here? I think isn't this it? I mean, what else is there? What other happiness is there than relishing the name? When people say Krishna consciousness is all about service, I have to say it's all about this kind of service. Serving the name. Gets you free of all obligations. You don't have to serve those gurus anymore, man. Too much work. Oh, hard, man. You go out there collecting, Just come here, we'll teach you how to serve the name and be free of all obligations. Krishna will say, I just want that service, man. That's it. You just serve the name like Lord Chaitanya instructed the world. See, that's it, man. He told there was a barber, He said, okay, you do a little service. You cut my hair and then you're gonna stop your barbering business. You'll see, you're gonna have a new occupation. And he did. He cut his hair, and then all of a sudden he couldn't stop chanting Lord Chaitanya's name. He was so ecstatic, and that was his new business. Just go out and chant the name and wake people up like Lalita Ganga. She's got a new business. Amazing, huh? I watched her doing her business today. It was great. She's just laughing. I mean, what kind of work is this? Just sits there and laughs, and this guy says, "Oh my God, I feel tears come into my eyes. I'm so happy." My God, what an easy job she's got now. He just sits there and laughs, and these people say, "Boy, this is the greatest program I've had. This is really entertaining. I feel so good. I relieved all my miseries. Just seeing this beautiful woman laughing and crying. Lord's setting us free from occupying our time." River also, she's inspiring. People say the same thing with her. Guys, the same guy, I think. He says, "Oh boy, this is so good. I don't know why you stayed away so long." They're starting to get it. People have been bitten by the snake of Maya, illusion. Okay? So it takes a while. They have to get purified, and it's like you start to come to life again. Yeah. All right, let's see here. What do we read a little bit? All right. It's a little cold in here. Just bear with me for a moment. I have to turn my heater on. I have to connect it here. See, Krishna consciousness is all about relishing mellows. That's the whole point. People don't know that life is about, really, the ultimate goal is love of God. Somebody read that this morning. Was that Lolita or somebody? Life's ultimate goal is love of God and relishing mellows. There is no other goal like the ultimate goal. So Lord Chaitanya came to just teach that by demonstration. Hey man, we'll show you what the ultimate goal is. You prove there's some other happiness better than this. Nobody could. Just like now. After a while, people, they won't be able to see. There's no happiness better than this. There's no enjoyment better than this. This is spiritual. This is what they do in the spiritual world. Can you imagine when you die, you don't even get to go to the spiritual planets unless you're in that consciousness here. Come on. All right. Come on. It's really cold. I got to do this, otherwise the body will get frozen up and I might have more problems. Okay. Okay. Actually, let's read about that life's ultimate goal here. That's chapter. I'm just going to check out the chapters here. It's interesting. So chapter 19, Lord instructs Rupa Goswami. So it all begins with being instructed. Let's get the right music here. So it all begins being instructed by an authority. See, Lord Chaitanya instructs. See, so you got to hear from the devotees. See, this is a secret. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, bhakti is secret. So you got to hear the secret. Nobody knows this. Socrates didn't understand this. The greatest person, when they think, oh, Socrates, he didn't understand this secret. He didn't hear it. It's a great secret. See these secrets. So that's the first. It was instructed first. See, and then the next chapter, Sanatan gets instructed. See, and then the instruction goes into, let me tell you about how great Krishna is. It's called the opulence of the absolute. You want to hear how great Lord Chaitanya is, or Krishna is, Radha and Krishna. To get the interest, yeah, boy, really? Krishna's that great? Yeah, he's so amazing. He's transcendental and so amazing. There's nothing like Krishna. See? Opulence of the absolute. People don't know that opulence. They only know the opulence of the material world. Gold, silver, money, wealth, children, wife, husband. The opulence of the material world. Mystic powers. But they don't know the absolute. See, that's the eternal. See, absoluteness means, hey, man, it's always going to be here. This other stuff comes and goes. What do you want? Stuff that comes and goes, or do you want the absolute, eternal, eternality? See, and we got to be instructed. It's a big secret by those who are authorized, by those who are tasting the absolute. See, there's a thing. You have to have your spiritual body awakened. What did Jesus say? You must be born again to enter the kingdom of God. See, and if you're born again in this world, you enter. See, you're there, even here. Here, there, it doesn't matter anymore. See, you got to have that twice birth again. So we enter the kingdom of God. So, and then the process of devotional service. The process, hearing, chanting, remembering. See, these absolute names. See, everybody's talking about the temporary names, gold, wealth. They've named everything, like in the Bible. There was was it Adam or Eve or Adam named things or something. Oh, this is dog, this is this is that. See, so they chant. So the whole world now is chanting these names. And what has it caused? People, they don't feel unified. Biden is my enemy. Trump is my enemy. You should hate him. Can you imagine this is going on in the world? What a miserable existence. People don't feel any unity. Oh, he doesn't, I don't agree with him. He doesn't agree with me. And we're enemies. This is my, we agree. And this is my enemy. You know, Prahlad never liked that. He was in this same time like now. No different. He didn't like politics. It says right there in Bhagavatam. He didn't like this. What is this? Considering this guy my enemy and friend. Where's the unity? Where's the brotherly feeling? Is this called division? Okay? And then the demons, they hype it up, man. They go, Black Lives Matter. You know, and you're white, man. You're a white supremacist. You see, names that cause divisions. And it's an unhappy experience for everybody. They get all riled up. The Indians get all riled up. They riot. Live an agitated life because they don't know the opulence of the absolute. The absolute names give you peace, true enjoyment and happiness and unity with your brothers. The lion lies down with the lamb. Isn't that amazing? You know, what do you think the world, why it falls apart, is because of that. And so people believe in that. They believe in the names that are not absolute, that cause agitation, misery, karma. You have to be under Yamaraj, man. Judge you for your good and bad deeds. And more births, more deaths. Oh my God, what a miserable existence. Amazing. And that can all be finished. People can come here and they can finish that. And you can get into attracted to the beauty, true beauty of the absolute. The opulence is the most opulent. It's eternally opulent. It's eternally wonderful. You know? You don't know? Come here. Look, you never see it, this kind of happiness. It's so uncommon. You might think it's weird. Oh, it's not normal. These gurus, they say, Gauri is not normal. It's not normal to be that happy. You got to be like us. They don't understand the absolute as well as many of us are doing here. You got to become ecstatic devotee. That's our work here. Is pluck people out of this cycle of misery. My God, birth and death and division. Black Lives Matter. I'm a woke person and you're more unawake than anybody. You're just controlled by Maya, illusions. You know, controlling everybody. This woke, this. The greatest philosophers don't understand what Lord Chaitanya brought to this world. And proof is, just listen to them. Listen to anybody. Who has the greatest wisdom? That's who you want to follow. Everybody's got to follow somebody. So follow the person that has the greatest logic, the greatest wisdom, and the greatest happiness. I think that kind of cuts to the chase. And can transfer that to you and cut you free from the cycle of birth and death. Can any of these gurus cut you free from the cycle of birth and death? By their word, by their ecstasy? Just ask that question. Why not go where you are cut free? No, I just love my Gurudev. Yeah? Has he cut you free from the cycle of birth and death? Well, I didn't know that was an issue. He never taught me. Well, you ready to learn what's important? Like this poor devotee. I said, what is, in your understanding, what is the purpose of Krishna consciousness? Basically, he said, just to work my ass off. Serve, 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 do, just do, 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 do. Didn't have any understanding. No, no, no. The purpose is love of God, man. That's the purpose. If you don't know that and you have gurus, the guy has initiation and gurus never taught him the real goal of life. Can you imagine? What kind of father is that? What life is really about? What kind of spiritual father is that? Kick him out. He's not a good father. He's beating you. You know that? He's beating you. How is he beating you? You got to take another birth because you don't know what the goal of life. You don't know why Lord Chaitanya came here. Do I sound like God there, Karuna, more? Do I need more echo or what? Yeah, you're going to take another birth because you weren't taught what the goal of life is. It's being taught now. So people don't, when you want to shoot a gun, right? You aim at the target, right? And the bullet goes to the target. Well, you're the bullet, man. Who's aimed you? Where are you targeted? Well, I'm targeted on just working my butt off to collect, to build big temples. And so these guys, the brahmacharis, can pocket some of the money, and buy a nice Enfield. That's what I saw when in Mayapur. Everybody's driving, all these brahmachari, poor guys, now they're rich, buying buildings and Enfields. I said, swear to God, you can go over there. You could see it all the same color, too. Is life about that? Work your ass off for that? Build a big temple that's sinking now because you can't stand the temple's too friggin' heavy. It's sinking. It'll be underwater soon. And you know what the lesson will be? The lesson is build the temple here now. There ain't a lot of time. This is the temple. Wake people up. It's time for them to wake up. And not just be muddled because they don't have a spiritual father can tell them what is it too hard to see the goal of life? It's right here in the book. Life's ultimate goal is love of God. If your guru hasn't taught you that, he's not a very good father. He's not, the guru is your spiritual father. We have it, the book Bhagavat. The book Bhagavat says life's ultimate goal is love of God. Okay? So that's what we got to know. But they don't know because they're not experiencing life's ultimate goal. Okay? So this is this wonderful book by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. It's about it's a Bhagavatamrita, I think. No. What is the name of this? Sri Krishna Bhavanamrita Markandeya. See, there's a lot of these books by the Goswamis with the name Mrita. See, it means nectar. A lot of nectar. So Sri Radhika thought to herself, how can I make my Sakis share this happiness? Oh, wait, I want to go back a little bit. Oops, too much. When the moon of Krishna's grace rose, the darkness of Radha's patience was vanquished, and the lotus of her bashfulness dried up and shriveled. But her erotic feelings began to bloom like a field of ecstatic tears, just as the moon's stones start dripping when the moon rises. Isn't this amazing? This is what you get from being attached to Radharani. You get that kind of ecstasy of being close to her. See, the moon of Krishna's mercy rises. See, when the moon of Krishna's glance rose. See, Krishna told Radhika, "O restless-eyed one, people become intoxicated with erotic feelings when they see the spots of moonlight coming through the small slits between the thick leaves of the trees that are trembling in the wind. It seems that the moon has engaged the moonlight in attending to us in Vrindavan. Therefore, our friend, the wind, has caught the leaves to swing them for us." Sri Hari got up, held Radhika's hand, and said, "Let's rest on this very nice flower bed in this kunj of desire trees for a while." See, bed of flowers, isn't that what it is? You know, ecstatic communion with the Lord is like a bed of flowers. Let us rest together on this bed of flowers. Kalindi held his left arm on Radhika's shoulder and brought her to the bed where they both lay down. See, that's a maidservant. He's serving the happiness of Radha and Krishna. Some devotees feel that way. Some gopis want personal enjoyment with Krishna, and some are like manjaris. They just want to bring the divine couple together. See, there's their service. They bring them together, and they just watch and serve in their intimate ways, facilitating the enjoyment of Radha and Krishna. There's a lot of room for personal taste. Kalindi held his left arm. Oh, yeah, okay. Two maidservants held the lotus feet of Radha. Two maidservants held the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna on their thighs. Two maidservants held the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna on their thighs, and were like golden seats, and worshipped these feet, offering paja footwear. Two maidservants held the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna on their thighs. See, they were like two golden seats and worshipped these feet. Yeah, see, that's like the heart of the devotee. You know, they invite Radha and Krishna to take their seat there. Offering paja footwear and their teardrops and arghya hand water, with their hairs that were standing up in ecstasy. See, that's the offering of the devotee. You know, the Lord's like, oh, what a wonderful offering. The teardrops and ecstatic symptoms. But this frightened them with their thought that their tender lotus feet might be hurt by these erect hairs. They worshipped these lotus feet with their lotus-like hands. Yeah, that's the moods. The lotus-like hand, very soft. See, that's the bhav, the feelings of a devotee. It's like that. Yeah, that's the hands of the devotees. Okay. Offered scents with the musk and camphor from their breasts, incense from their breath, lamps with their shining jewel-like nails, garlands with their glances, foodstuffs with their pomegranate-like breasts. See, isn't that interesting? See, all this is the worship. See, people usually offer the physical. All that was symbolic, of this is this is internal worship, and it's like the breasts. They're up yearning to commune with the Lord. The Lord. Oh wow, this person's craving. This is this desire. You see, this is transcendental lust, wonderful, pure. See? The desiring, hankering to meet with the Lord like this. The Lord's looking for this kind of worship. It's wonderful. There's nothing like it. No greater happiness. See? And you don't need any. You don't have to take all the trouble, the physical offerings. You have to go and make all these different offerings and everything. This is all done internally with your spiritual body awakened. That's why you see the comparison. Yeah. See, they're teardrops. See, is like it's the water. We've already discussed this before. See, now it's confirmed. All the devotees. This is Vrindavan. It's style. You get these realization that it's spiritual. Yeah. See, offering a sense of musk and camphor with their breasts. These are the mellows, transcendental mellows. The different tastes are very wonderful. See, these are offering Krishna. Oh, wow, that's amazing. Relishing these mellows. Isn't that amazing? By relishing mellows, you're pleasing God in the best of all ways. People just trying to please the material senses, which is the Lord in his Mayic form. And it's not a very great and that's your happiness is the result, but it's happiness and distress. And sometimes you eat too much because you're pleasing the senses, which is God in that form, and then you eat too much and you get sick or bellyache or this or that, or so it's a trap. It's cheating. You're getting cheated. You think that's happiness, and it's superficial. This is the pleasure. See, there's no bellyache here. It just increases. Just like your desire, you cultivate material satisfaction of the senses. What happens? It increases. You want more. More money, more wealth, more women, whatever, more men. See, always more. See, but this also increases, and goes on forever. It's wonderful. Liberates our soul from this world. This. Krishna's feet were like sprouts on the golden banana-like thighs of the maidservants. Krishna's feet were like sprouts on the golden banana-like thighs of the maidservants, whose red lotus-like hands massaged them. Their bangles buzzed like bumblebees, and they went up and down with the movements of their massaging hands. Other maidservants fanned Radha and Krishna with flower fans. Other maidservants fanned Radha and Krishna with flower fans, as if they wanted to gladden the poets by having their descriptions of their master's glories dancing before them in personified forms. Other maidservants fanned Radha and Krishna with flower fans, as if they wanted to gladden the poets by having their descriptions of their master's glories dancing before them in personified forms. One of the maidservants stood on each of Radha and Krishna's sides, serving golden betel leaves filled with camphor. Nutmeg and cloves. Radha and Krishna looked like spotless rising moons. Radha and Krishna looked like spotless rising moons sprinkled with two golden vines that constantly worshiped them with their sprouts. With their ambrosia moonbeams, Krishna said, "Dear Radha, look, your maidservants are very tired. They perspire with their eyes rolling." Let them take some rest. This is the worship. It's like that. You get it's a little tiring after a while. And Radha and Krishna are looking, they're getting a little tired. They need a little rest. It's intense. Chanting in ecstasy is very intense. You don't want to give it up, but you get a little tired, Yeah. They perspire with their eyes are rolling. Let them take some rest. If your feet are still tired, then I will massage them myself. As soon as the maidservants heard this, they left the kunj, like worshippers leaving the temple with their priests after having had their desires fulfilled. Isn't that the way it is? Yeah. And then you come back to the worship. It's always ever fresh. Alita was saying, it's always ever fresh. You're a little tired, and so you leave the thing, I'm fully satisfied, and then come back. Time to worship again. Time to engage in love play. Then Krishna bathed in Cupid's holy lake, horripulating of cold or erotic bliss. His body was made shining by being washed. Then Krishna bathed in Cupid's holy lake. See, Krishna himself bathed in Cupid. See, Cupid is this love. This is bhaktis which purifies. See, Cupid's lake is full of love, full of ecstasy. It's very purifying, isn't it? Very ecstatic. It's holy. This is true holiness, man. If anybody wants to know what Holy Spirit worship is in Vaishnavism, this is it. Bathing in those mellows, man. This love of Radha and Krishna. Then Krishna bathed in Cupid's holy lake, horripulating of cold or erotic bliss. His body was made shining by being washed. See, this is being washed within. Most people don't know what that is. They just always taking a shower, 3 times a day, Devotee, I'm lucky if I take a shower once a day. Sometimes I forget because you got to have, this is the real washing. He washes you from the inside out. This priority, this kind of mellows, tasting love of God. That's our work here, man. That's what we're here to promote. We're here to promote the highest truth, man. You can't get any truth higher than this. Why teach anything else when this is available? He joyfully engaged in worship, being expert in all particular religious functions of the Smriti scriptures, and it says, or Cupid. See, there's a lot of work to use these Smriti scriptures, worship like this. Very physical, kinetic, physical. See, here all you have to do is bathe in Cupid's lake of ecstatic devotion to complete the worship. More than it can be complete. The other way is still material. This is the way to complete the worship, man. Ecstatic worship, man, that's where it's at. Man, come on, who's interested? This is our work here. This is our authority. We have a authorized degree on the wall. Promote ecstatic love of God. Propagate that. Transfer that. Awaken that in the hearts of others. See, don't you see our degree? It's right here. Hey. It's written in the book, written in the heart. How can you call serving Krishna with your physical body material? Well, it's called external devotional service, right? Physical body. There's a spiritual body, and you can serve him that way. Now, if your physical body your spiritual body is activated, and your hand is your heart. See, if you're a pujari and you're perfect being yourself realized, and your hand goes out like this with the water, and that's your heart, and tears are flowing like this. That's the water. See? But if your hand is going out like that, and the water is just in the conch, and it's ritual. Okay. Is it spiritual? Yeah, it's called external bhakti. Are you satisfied with that? Yeah. Here, the devotees, whether they do that or not, it's always their heart, the tears are coming from their eyes in the worship. So, it's nice to make the distinction. Otherwise, you think that's it. Oh, yeah, that's it, is the ritual. Well, you see how they describe this like this, internal worship, to make the distinction. And so that's why we do also. That's why Jesus did. The Lord is very much looking for that kind of worship. Yeah, it's what you want to do. So a devotee, they don't have to do the physical, but some people like to, When you see ecstatic devotees worshiping Krishna in ecstasy, chanting and all that, it's like looking at the worship of in the temple. They're in the temple worshiping the deity, but in a way that's very, very deep, and it's perfect. See, the other is still striving to attain Krishna unless there's the feeling behind it, transcendental awakening. Yeah, so it's like that. So the previous paragraph has a second meaning. Oh, sorry. After bathing, Agarabid performed the achaman, washing of the mouth. Thrice with nectar. See, this is a washing of the mouth. See, a lot of people, they wash their mouth after they eat, and they think it's very important to wash your mouth out. But here we wash our mouth out this way, with nectar. The chanting Hare Krishna ecstasies, you're washing your mouth out with nectar. See, you're eating this spiritual food and you're washing your mouth out with nectar. You don't need physical, you need to wash. And then even devotees, it's like, who cares about that, washing your mouth out? You don't have to. It's just a ritual, it's just an external. And, do it. Okay, it's okay. You just don't think about it. It's not like, oh, this is going to really purify me. I remember when my ex left here, and then she went back to Vaidhi Bhakti, and then she says, "Go, Hari, don't you know it's very important to wash your mouth out after eating?" I couldn't believe it. I said, "What?" It's like the Pharisees. Why don't your disciples wash their hands and mouth after they eat? Like it was very important. That's what you are when you're an external. That was the punishment. You become external. Yeah, go ahead.
I always thought this is so unlogic. First you eat prasadam and mahaprasadam, and then you're going to wash your mouth. I thought you were eating holy food. Is that dirty now suddenly? I never understood that.
Yeah. Well, that's because it's external still. It's not really, the holiness hasn't been realized. The Lord did that with his mother. His mother, he was sitting on these rejected pots after they were offered and people ate, and then they throw them in the pile. And he was sitting on them. And his mother said, "Get off of that unclean place." He said, "What do you mean? These have been offered to Vishnu. How are they unclean?" So that's the one level. And then he went to the deeper level. He said, "By the way, if I touch anything, it's pure enough to purify the universe." See, but that's the internal devotion, man. When a devotee, the devotee is touched. See, this is the secret of this cyclic line. Another angle. See, of the same truth, always, just another angle. When the Lord, the way this is spread is the devotees are touched by the Lord and they become purified internally. See, their spiritual bodies awaken and they can purify the universe, or the Lord purifies them, the universe, through them and only them. Oh, that's a real line. Most Vaishnavas, it's like religion still. They only know the external thing. Oh, you see, I'm a Brahmin, I'm a sannyasi. But the more important thing is, have you been touched by the transcendental Lord? Is he touching you? Are you touching him? See, are you awakened? Otherwise, you cannot transfer that transcendental touch to others. You cannot awaken. You're not authorized. See? So proof is authorization is here because people are awakening. Yes, it is correct. Those who awaken devotion to Krishna are certainly the spiritual master. See, you guys are all becoming spiritual masters. You're people, you could see in your own preaching, because you've been touched by the Lord in the cyclic line, you're able to touch others. People are touched by your ecstatic preaching. That's what the whole point. That's the Lord touched people. He just worshiped the Lord in ecstasy. And his people who became favorable to him were touched and started to cry also. There you go. That's the awakening. That's the spiritual rebirth, is with the cry. See, in the world, when you're born, you cry, right? They slap you on the butt and you start crying. Here, the Lord just touches you through the disciplic line when you become favorable, and purified, and then you're awakened spiritually, and you also cry, and then you laugh like little babies. They cry, they laugh, and it just goes on forever. And mature, like babies mature, right, in their body. Here we mature in mellows, serving Krishna in deeper, Radha and Krishna in deeper and deeper ways, in more intricate ways. They become our Shiksha gurus. You notice that? They teach us so many things just by associating with them. In ecstasy, of course, in great bliss. What a great way to learn. Isn't it nice to go to school and have fun learning? This is the best college I can ever imagine. You ever did this? You come here, you enter a new kind of college, man. One you really love to learn. I look forward every day to okay, what are they going to teach me today?
Always sweet clothes. A school of sweet clothes.
This is a true crying school. You see, what you see is what you get. Let's see what Karuna has to say here. He's the devil's advocate. Krishna, these practices are little details to keep society materially clean and presentable. Yeah. Keeps him, the sadhana keeps them spiritually clean if we have the association of ecstatic devotees. Yeah, that's good. That's actually, yeah. And you need to focus your mind. Yeah. Yeah, it's good. If you're under the guidance of, of ecstatic devotees, yeah. And after a while, you become so ecstatic and you can do the internal worship. It's up to you, your prerogative, whatever you like to do, Isn't it nice to be free? You don't tell me, you must do this here. Some people feel like, well, Glory, it's like, you're stopping me from doing, I like to do these rituals and stuff. I ain't stopping you. Do it or don't do it, but don't, it's up to your mind. This is the main thing is sadhu sangha. Do you like this? Do you like this kind of worship? And then do the rules you want to do or don't do. It doesn't, this is the main thing. Do you feel this? Do you feel your heart? Your eyes are the conch, filled with water, the eye sockets, Are you experiencing this bliss?
I also like to talk to people with a clean mouth, who have a clean mouth, and my mouth is clean, and clean hands, etc. But it's so transcendental. That's why yours. It doesn't bring us closer to the Lord.
Yeah.
These are material rules. Okay, that's nice. It's culture. Yeah. No, I'm not against being cultured and clean. On the contrary.
Yeah. Well, actually, see, the main thing is to associate with people with a really clean mouth. The clean mouth is cleansing it with the nectar of ecstatic mellows. If you don't like that, then you don't know what real cleanliness is. See, people think, well, I'm going to associate with this Brahmin. He's got a clean mouth and clean body because he takes a bath 3 times a day. But they may not even be really clean yet. They usually aren't. You're not cleansed until the awakening of pure love of God in the heart. That's the real cleansing. Blessed are the pure in heart, they shall see God. It's that bhakti that purifies the heart. Otherwise, there's uncleanliness there. It doesn't matter how externally clean you are. There are a lot of people that are very externally clean. but still their hearts are full of rage and anger and hatreds and and dark things. A lot of demons are clean. Jarasandha was very clean externally, but his heart was full of hatred and anger for the true form of God. The true form of God is what you see here, is this ecstatic worship. That's Radha, man. That's devotion. It reveals the true name, the true knowledge, the essence, all this preaching. This is the real deal. If you don't like this preaching, you don't like Krishna. I don't care how many names or lakhs you're chanting. If you don't like this vibration that comes from ecstatic worship, then you don't know the Lord you're worshiping yet. You have a false idea of who God is. God is Satchidananda. That you see here. You see knowledge that is uncommon that comes from ecstatic worship. If you don't like this preaching, that's your real truth. The real truth is you don't like the true God yet. You don't know who he is. That's what we're here to teach. Anybody who just likes this, oh wow, I like this vibration. I like coming here. I feel relieved. Oh, you're very fortunate. Even though you may not understand clearly what's going on, but you're really fortunate just by being favorable. Yeah. Yes, many get fixated on the external and stay there, sadly. Yeah, and so how do you get unfixated on just the external? You have to be with internal devotees. That's why this is progressive. We always speak in terms of the internal and show how it relates to external. The external devotees can't do that. All they are is external. And the people stay there on the external level. They don't move deeper. They have to associate with internal devotees teaching internal things. Otherwise, it's just like Bhakti Vinod or Prabhupada or Bhakti Siddhanta. They're internal devotees, but they teach external things for those who are qualified for that only. It's like here, many devotees are still external. They don't like this preaching. They can't understand it. And therefore they stay in their Vaidhi level of external worship and eating their, their Sunday feasts and all of that. Yeah. So we go on with our worship and it gets more and more attractive because more and more purification happens for us and the vibration in the world. It becomes more and more clear, everything in our discussions, in our relish, mellows. Great way to do our job here, do our part. People, this is needed. This is going towards the real harvest. They have a lot of symbols. We're going to get into the Bible. They talk about at the end time, Jesus comes and starts to reap, reap the fruits, cut people free of the tares. The tares is the evil one. Hey, what do you think's going on here? Through us, it's always the Lord reaping, The Lord through us is doing that. He's reaping the harvest and he's taking the tares away, all that stuff. Sometimes tearing them away. Just separating the wheat from the chaff. Don't you feel that? And then you're left with the jewel. So that's going on now. You don't have to wait for, there'll be people, they think externally. Oh, they're going to see Jesus coming on this cloud, and he's going to have the long hair flowing in the wind and the beard, and he's going to be wearing white and he's going to separate the wheat. There's going to be wheat there and there's going to be tares. And see, it's all the symbols. They don't know what the symbols mean. Symbols mean is what's going on here. The Lord is using us to separate the wheat from the tares. See, the wheat, the substance, the ecstatic worship, the intimacy, and just get the conditioning, get that bye-bye. See you later. Don't need it. See? So that's the idea, by the action of the guru and the super soul, all that stuff is cleared away. Huh. Let's see here. Let's see. Read a little bit from Chaitanya Bhagavat here. With straw between his teeth, this is chapter 23 of Majjhima, text 87. With straw between his teeth, the Lord appealed to them, "O brothers, worship Krishna day and night." Purport, manifesting his humility before proud people, Sri Gaurasundar humbly requested everyone to stay engaged in the service of Krishna and never give up the worship of Krishna. Translation. They all cried on seeing the Lord's anxiety. Then they engaged in the process of Sankirtan with their bodies, minds, and speech. See, our bodies, this is Sankirtan, glorifying the Lord, right? His name and his pastimes. See, our bodies are here, our minds are here, our speech is here, and then the ecstasy comes from that. See, that's devotional service, pure devotional service. See, you come to see. Can you imagine people are just they're doing service, even Sankirtan, with their bodies and their minds and their words, but has the ecstasy arisen yet? That's our work. Spark that ecstasy. So the feeling with it. Otherwise, it's still external. In great jubilation, all the inhabitants of Navadvip clapped their hands and chanted the names Ram and Narayan. They all had mridangas, kartels, and conch shells in their homes, and they used during the Durga Puja festival. Purport. Every religious-minded person had musical instruments like mridanga, conch shell in their houses. They used them in the autumn or on the occasion of Mahatma Puja in the month of Chaitra, such as worship is performed for the purpose of attaining temporary worldly happiness. See, what is people need? What is your purpose in worshiping Krishna even? See, people worshiping these different deities because they want some material stuff. See, so they would only on occasion worship. See, this is different. This kind of worship is you're not looking for any material, and therefore you want to do it all regularly, not just once a month or once a week. Even people worshiping God, they want to go like, well, once a week we'll go to church for obligation. See? But when you start to really worship the Lord and get the taste for it, because it's spiritual and it becomes food, I can't live. Man cannot live by bread alone. Yeah, gotta live by the word. It's the word, the transcendental word, coming from those who are real devotees. Otherwise, you're not living. Hey, man, you go to gurus and sannyasis and Brahmins, but if they're not awake with the transcendental word, you're not being fed yet. You're just practicing. The more you get a taste here, the more you understand this. These people that, they're external, they haven't been born again. You must be born again to experience the kingdom of God, to perceive the kingdom of God, to participate in the kingdom of God. We're here to initiate the twice birth experience, not external bananas in a fire and they say all your sins. It's like, they used to sacrifice goats and animals in the Bible times, and they would think their sins are gone. Here it's a ritual, you take an initiation from a guru, and your sins are gone. No, not exactly. Not yet. You got to be clear. You got to get more clarity. Even if the guru is liberated, you got to hear the intimate pastimes of the Lord. Isn't that what it says? It's by hearing the pastimes of Krishna from the mouths of great personalities. Great because the Lord has touched them and is using them, purifying them, hollowed them out, using them like flutes for his purposes. And teaching you confidential truths. Otherwise, it's like Moses teaching you external principles. It's like Prabhupada teaching you about the importance of Varnashram Dharma. Well, there's something more important than that. His own books say that. Yeah, and that's what we're here to do. If you don't listen to this message, you stay external bhakti. We can prove it very easily. You can go to any of these devotees who have these gurus and ask them what the highest goal of life is. And a lot of them, like I said yesterday, he has a guru in ISKCON. I said, well, what is the purpose of Krishna consciousness? What's the highest goal? And he couldn't tell. Couldn't just say, oh, love of God, man. That's what I'm after. He didn't even know. Therefore, he doesn't even know the goal. Therefore, our message is not even interesting to him because he's not been taught this yet. So persons like that, he was getting a little frustrated with what they're teaching in Vaishnavism nowadays. So, it's like, oh, there must be more. Yeah. So we'll come to our classes and find out more. In great jubilation, the inhabitants of Navadvip clapped their hands and chanted the names of Ram and Narayan. See? And now they'll want to do it every day. That's how the Lord got them. So he got them to worship and get the taste. That's what happens here. You start to come here and you get the taste. See, and then your heart gets purified and you go beyond external worship and materially motivation in your worship. It's just, no, let me just clap my hands and feel Radha and Krishna appear and see the rasa dance. That is very satisfying. See, no material motivation other than being close to them. Being intimate with God, the twin divinities. If you have material motives, that's because you haven't experienced these things enough, or at all, haven't been awakened. So they all had mridangas, cartels. Oh yeah, I read that. Everyone was happy now to use those material musical instruments at the time of kirtan. See how the Lord does it? See, that's the taste. They're happy now. Oh yeah, let's do this more often. How about every day? It's like I've been really enjoying this. I like to, I haven't been able to give it up yet. I like to sing now. Sing the Lord's names. Glorify Him. Taste His the happiness of standing up, standing for bhakti, standing for the Lord, hearing his name, relishing the taste of that, and sharing it with the world boldly. Whether they can criticize, doesn't matter, man. Some of these guys are popping up, now, and they're saying, they're trying to like, you see, Gohari's a homosexual, because he kissed a guy, gave him a holy kiss, which was completely innocent, and then they have material motives. They want to say, you see, he's not. That wasn't in my mind. It was just totally in ecstasy, giving. I think that was in my mind, give my brother a holy kiss, greet each other with a holy kiss. Isn't that what St. Paul said? And then say, you see, he's the homosexual. They want to discredit. This is ignorance. The whole world is steeped in this kind of ignorance. Yeah. In this way, the entire town became filled with the chanting of the Lord's transcendental names. Hari, Haram, Hari Krishna. That's it, man. Help people become attracted to chanting the holy names with great ecstasy and bliss. So that they can become happy and free of birth and death and feel it, experience that. Not come and to Krishna just so that you can come, we can make members. They do that in church. People are very sometimes happy. We got a new member now. We can make money off of them. They can tithe to us. No, it's like, hey man, let's just spread the bliss, the ecstasy. Yeah. So when the servant of Lord Chaitanya heard the kirtan, he became overwhelmed and began to dance in ecstasy. Yeah, that's another thing, about this homosexual thing, So what? What if, you think Krishna is against homosexuals or something? You could be a homosexual and chant the holy name in ecstasy. So what? You could be a heterosexual. You could be a lesbian. And if you get the mercy, you get the mercy. So what does that have to do with anything? That's also external. Be whether you are this or that, you could be a dog. What if there was a dog who chanted the holy name in Lord Chaitanya? You got the mercy of a devotee, and he started chanting Hare Krishna. So they say, he's a dog, he can't chant. He's a homosexual, he can't chant in ecstasy. Hey, I'll take the association of a lesbian if she can chant, or a homosexual if they can chant the holy name in ecstasy. They're my master. My master's given his mercy to them. See, people external worship. See, he's defeated his own self by his external preaching, whoever that guy is.
If you want to find a stick to hit the dog, it's easy to find a stick, Very easy.
That's why devotees laugh at those persons. It's like, when the town's inhabitants saw how joyful, God, I'd like to speak more, but I think I'm getting a little bit fatigued. And it's also because I kind of didn't want, it's kind of nice to have some short things so people can watch these things. It's like an hour and a half of things. It's probably good too. I mean, I could get you guys to do things too, but I think maybe it's better, we do this a little bit like this, and then you can do your own kind of things. Kolavecha. So when the town's inhabitants saw how joyful he was, they gathered around him and performed kirtan. See, and that's really, yeah. So anyway, we'll go more into this a little later. There's so much, so much to relish. We'll take a little break, and you guys can do your thing if you want. Thank you, Karuna, for your input. Thank you, Tom. Okay, so now we'll just ask, what's going on with you guys? Oh.
Thanks for using.
You're welcome. Yeah. Tom, what's going on?
It's nice to see that everything becomes clear and simple and easy, light. And it brings a lot of these burdens of material concerns. They all go. Yes, I like the gesture of river. Very happy.
What do you have to say, Lolita? What do you want to share? Anything?
I'm always full absorbed by your words, Guru Maharaj. I don't know what to say. I would like to, but
I think your smile says it all.
yeah. Thank you.
And Karuna, you have anything else to add?
Yes. So I'm going to walk away from the other microphone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, good.
I can imagine myself back in the days of Jesus Christ, hanging out with the 12 lads, going, "Are you just saying the same thing? Jesus Christ!" I'm going down to the next village and talk to the lads about God and Jesus, how great Jesus is. And I go down to the village and I start telling them, "Listen, we don't need the synagogue, we don't need the priest. God is in our heart." And the fellow up there about Jesus talking about it. Go up there, listen to him, because I've listened to him now for the past year, and I've had enough. But it's what he's saying. What he's saying is true and beautiful, and I like to hang out there occasionally. But you should go up there and listen to him. And I go back up and I listen to you, and I go, "Oh yeah. He's still on about it." I go back down to the village, and so yeah. I've punished myself enough in my life, sitting on hard floors, sitting there like a good little devotee, smiling at everything my guru says. And sometimes, even though my guru said something that just I didn't get or didn't like, I still going, But inside I'm going, just stop the fucking class and let me go for a whiz. But I mean, here you give us the ability to chat, to challenge. You go, what is that all about? And what do you mean by that? So we have the freedom here to not always agree like a little lapdog, but you're an ecstatic devotee, so I trumped everything. So forget it. Forget everything I said. It's great.
Yeah, well, we hear about free expression, man. You gotta be yourself, whatever that is.
I mean, I sometimes find that when we pinpoint these little things that they do sometimes your example, for me, I can say, sometimes the examples you use it to not to degrade the Vaidhi path is like, come on. I mean, there has to be some kind of external offering for the mlechas and assholes to see, oh look, they're offering, it's nice. But to degrade it, like, there has to be some kind of thing. And I know where you're coming from, but sometimes it just grates in my back. I'm like, God. But then I have to just bite myself and go, just let him go. Washing your teeth, washing your mouth with water. And listen. And like, wiping our, listen, wiping, once I discovered the qualities of wearing a kopin, changed my spiritual life. And I know it's external, but when you're in India and your junk is hanging free, the kopin is a great little tool. It's a great tool to have. And it's washing my ass with my left hand was a breakthrough in my spiritual life. Like, oh no, wait, now so many things make sense. Okay, the left hand is for my ass, my right hand is for everything. It's great. It's very beneficial. But you know, it's not the highest point of spiritual life. It's a stepping stone. It's great to know these things. But to hinge your argument on, tell me to wipe my ass. They're not telling you spiritual life about what to wipe your ass with, but it's just a little point of interest on the way.
No, it's a material thing. It's a cultural thing. It's education. But it's not spiritual. I had such a fight this morning with someone like you here in the house. You know, thinking that we both have a transcendental relationship. No, Balaram, we have a material relationship. You guys use transcendental and spiritual for everything, but transcendental is something really, really deep. It's rapture. It's enjoying mellows of the Lord. It has nothing to do with a copy or all that kind of things.
Of course, it's not. But nor do they emphasize these topics. It's like you don't get a class on the Vyastan of how to wipe your ass properly. It's just a sideline. It's like, by the way, do you wipe your ass with your left hand? Oh, I never heard of that. Well, the next time I shake your hand, I make sure I don't. There's not so much emphasis. Yeah, if you want to be a brahmachari and a pujari, you have to know all that shit. But you know, it's just little detail on the way. It's just little detail. We have the highest, with Srinagar Haridas and the excited devotees here, to go, you think it's all about wiping your ass with their pants. They know it's not. They know it's about reading the Shastra and singing the songs and chanting the Maha Mantra, but they're just missing the capstone, which is the ecstatic association. They don't give a shit what you wipe your hand with as long as it's clean.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. My granddad used to hit me on my hand for using my left hand.
Oh, look at you now.
Well, not to wipe my ass, but just to write. Yeah, I used to
in the temple, I didn't receive prasada because I give my left hand.
Dirty woman you are. Dirty.
Yeah.
I'd slap you. Kick that.
Well, one good thing is it'll save you in these times, you know, when there's a toilet paper rush on, you don't need the toilet paper, you know. Everybody's rushing to buy extra toilet paper now.
We just walk outside and wipe our ass on the grass.
Yeah. Yeah. How about you, River? What do you got to say?
There you go. That's it.
She's going to do satsangs now like they do in India. The guy comes out and they just start smiling. She'll come out and just start laughing like Lalita. That's your darshans. Just sit there and just come out and laugh, chant Krishna's name and laugh, and then close the curtain.
And open it again.
Take a rest.
Yeah.
Now that's being a real pujari, man. You just sit there, you open the curtain and you just start laughing. Krishna uses you. You just laugh and cry and all that, and then close the curtain for a couple hours. Rest up. Give darshan again. That's all they do in South India. They come out and they smile, you know, and just give you the darshan and then close the curtain. There was only Brahman bliss, though, you would get. You only get the darshan and they smile.
It's a good job he's not a pujari, because the deities would be half dressed and there'd be food all over the place and the cans would fall over, the place would probably burn down. It's a good job. It's a good job those pujaris hold back their ecstasy, or else nothing about it gets done. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, we're pujaris here. We just come out and show the deity for a little bit and then close the curtain.
We're doing
Come out
ecstatic.
again. Show the deities, the twin deities, Radha and Krishna. So the maids, that's the maid servant are the pujaris. They just come in, they show the deity.
We just do an ecstatic dance for people.
Yeah.
It's like those.
But
it's
the thing is, it's only they can take our unhappiness away. So we need that darshan. Otherwise everybody builds up, their karmas, and they in the around materialistic people and all the sound vibrations of the movies and all that stuff. It's bombarded the politics and all. So we need that darshan, that purifies us.
bathe in it.
We also need to distinguish the quality of the bliss, and for that we need you. Like you said, there is Brahman bliss in the one who gives darshan there, and there's another quality of bliss, someone who gives darshan here. But we have to see, we have to open our eyes to see the difference in the quality of bliss.
Yeah, well, that's part of our work here, to show that, and also distinguish it from the Vaidhi bliss. There's some bliss in that Vaidhi worship. Otherwise, people wouldn't do it. But there's a distinction there. A lot of times they don't recognize this. They think, "What is this?" Well, we say, "Hey, man, can't you see right here? You read about it." Here, you see it, and then we just pointed out, you see, it's in the book. That's why Prabhupada came at that time, you notice? Because the books are all out. I preach on the authority of you see, it was going on 500 years ago. It's going on now. So it's authorized. It's not just some figment of imagination. It's real, authentic. I mean, what I found is many gurus, Raganuga, so-called gurus, don't understand the real deal, because when they see it, they think, "Oh, what is this?" Oh, well, here it is. You see, when you have love of God, sometimes you laugh, sometimes you cry, you choke up. Many expressions of this loving ecstasy and worship of Radha and Krishna. Very, and there it is. It's in the book. And a lot of them sometimes still don't accept. So it doesn't matter. We just keep, the truth will set people free.
In Nectar of Devotion, somebody posted there on Facebook, it was Rupa Goswami was saying that when a devotee does experience these high levels of ecstasy, then they shouldn't show them. They should hold them in. If they do expose them, it's called Prakritis Sahaja.
See, I like that word, should. See, that word should tells it all. You don't tell a spontaneous devotee they should do this. That's Vaidhi. That's like having some material, mode of goodness father or something. You should. We need to control you. See, it's about control. Yeah, no. A spontaneous devotee is controlled by Krishna. If they feel inspired from their heart to say or do, they're going to do it, and it's going to be beautiful, even though people think they want to control that person. Oh, too bad, man. It's just like with Krishna. They're demonstrating the quality of Krishna. He's only controlled by love and loving, but he's only controlled by his real devotees. But the person saying, "I'm a devotee and this is the way you should be like this," and should, Prabhupada talked in terms of that sometimes, but anyway, he's preaching, his audience are mostly Vaidhis. But when a person reaches spontaneous love of God, well, where's the spontaneity if you should do this and you shouldn't do that? And, what is this? Then you're actually, the Lord came here himself, and spontaneously he exhibited this. And sometimes he would spontaneously hold it back. It's up in the prerogative. But then when you tell him, well, we need to control that, you should do it this way, it's immature.
It's a bit, it puts you in a bit of a spin. Lord Chaitanya tells Nityananda, go and do more of your ecstatic worship. And then Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, I worship a spiritual master who has tears in his eyes and choking his voice. And then Rupa Goswami goes, well, you should hold it back. It's like, what? Hold on. How do we know this is supposed by spiritual master?
First of all, Rupa Goswami, I've never heard him say he should. I've only heard, because they say that Rupa Goswami, there's some stories, Rupa Goswami would be like a stone in raging ecstasy inside and all that. And so they say, you see, I don't know, it's just, I don't know if they're just bullshitting or they're, just their idea. They see, the thing is, spontaneous devotion is really spontaneous. I'm here to teach the pure thing, not mixed in with Vaidhi and shoulds and all that and mix it with no. Just straight stuff. Straight stuff is this. Spontaneously a devotee may withdraw. Spontaneously a devotee may express. That's it. It's their prerogative spontaneously. You can't, as soon as you say, well, no, you should do it this way, that's a Vaidhi Bhakti mentality, trying to control. Somebody's only controlled by loving ecstasy, controlled by the true God. So, and people do naturally, because a lot of people have that in them. They're still, haven't transcended that yet. Yeah. So anyway, that's the preaching here. I'm just saying, hey, man, Lord Chaitanya was like that. This is a new revelation, actually. The Lord Chaitanya would sometimes spontaneously hold back and spontaneously express. You never knew what he was going to do. Nobody knew. That's why you want to get ready for those pastimes. You come here, we'll get you ready for them. Otherwise, you're not going to be ready. How are you going to participate with Lord Chaitanya? You want to control him. And if you're not a devotee yet, because you're not twice born, you can't participate. You can't do it. Sometimes even devotees spontaneously would try to control the Lord. But that's another thing. Damodar Pandit would try to control the Lord sometimes. But that was out of this fatherly relationship like Jagannath Mishra. But you got to be a liberated soul for the Lord to agree. Otherwise, he ain't going to agree. Just like if a person's really a non-devotee here, you can't control even a spontaneous devotee. They don't listen to you. They say, well, you're not, I don't have any relation. What's your relationship with you? You're not even a devotee. You need to learn. That's why the devotee will often turn into the spiritual master with persons like that. If they're willing to listen or chastise them, say, hey man, who are you? Who are you to tell a devotee what to do? Only, even Prabhupada mentioned this. He said only a surrendered disciple has the right to order their guru around. Can you imagine that? See, this is where but if you're not really surrendered in your heart to real devotees, then that you're just not part. You're an outsider, man. You don't have to listen to you. Why would you listen? Might listen, but it's all spontaneous. This is the beauty of it. You're free. Come here to set people free. All this should stuff and all that's, this is for, it's another level. You should do this and shouldn't do that. And Prabhupada taught from that because, he was teaching Vaidhi. Yes, you should do. You must do this. You should do this. But a lot of people would also be unhappy, repressed, depressed, because it's.
We looked into this also before, and in the translations of Prabhupada, when we look underneath in the word by word, there were no shoulds. Sometimes in the translation there were a lot of shoulds, but in the word by word, no shoulds.
That's right. That's why I say, especially when you start to see this mixture, because he's preaching, then you go to the word for word and it straightens it out. But you got to be empowered to do that. That's why I'm teaching like this, so people can understand how to get the alloys out of this. This is an alloy. The devotee should. But pure, spontaneous love, the verses usually are like that. But they can also sometimes be translated with some Vaidhi elements. Depends, But anyway, it doesn't, at this point, when mature ecstatic devotion awakens, you're not dependent even on the Shastras. All you do is you just relishing the name purely. It's so wonderful. And then the Lord will help you out if there's some interpolations on this or that. I mean, that's what he does for me. I just relish, and then there's this and that, and then I try to explain it. The Lord gives me some, insight. And so, why not? It's beautiful. It's wonderful. It's while we're here, we can help people a lot. We can shed a lot of light on what's, previously been written and maybe interpolated by materially motivated persons, as in the scriptures. Why not? The main thing is to chant the holy name in ecstasy, and then, they get people to awaken them up, and then Krishna starts to show you things. It's wonderful. Then you get a real playmate, you get a real friend, and he'll help you eternally. That was the whole point with Jesus, was to awaken those 11 persons so that God would begin instructing them and teaching them the ways of the Spirit. The same thing here. Look, you guys are on automatic now. Your relationship with the Lord helps you, most of you. Not all of you there, but many of you. And it's beautiful. It's wonderful. It goes on forever. Here, that's the purpose of a priest, is to join you, marry you to God. That's it. That's all I'm doing. I just help facilitate the marriage between your soul and the Lord. That's the whole, isn't it? They perform marriage ceremonies. So, see, the priest, the internal truth about the priest, or the guru, the spiritual master, same idea, is to help you marry to God, to teach scripture, to clarify things, to bring revelations, to nourish the spiritual awakening. Okay? And then you pass it on, because the whole purpose to go to a spiritual master is to learn, right? So you learn this art also and science, then you pass it on to others. Beautiful. I love it. So happy to be here. Happy to know what the hell I'm here to do, it's really nice. and help you guys, because I can't really tell you, the Lord's going to inform you. I'm just here to kind of marry you off, hitch you up with the Lord. This is our ceremonies, and then the Lord, you just in your rasa, your communion with God, you'll spontaneously do a lot of stuff, express a lot of things. It's beautiful. The world needs it.
This communion, this marriage feels like coming in tune with the disciplic line, with the real substance.
It is. Yeah, this is definitely substantial. So substantial, people think, oh, yeah, this is too solid, this food. Feels like a sledgehammer to some. Oh, he's giving me so much pain. Okay, guys. Hare Krishna. I'll see you later. I got to move around. Go to the spa. Do some swimming. Some exercise in the gym. get a little pumped up, pump some iron, ride the motorcycle over there. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.